What's up guys, Shawnthebro here, and we're back for another episode of the Super Smash Brothers and Platform Fighter tutorial series. In today's episode, we're going to be going over cleaning up and improving our character select screen and stage selection screen. So we have two very important screens here. We have our character select screen where we can grab our tokens for each player. However, we actually can't go back to the main menu from here or our other menus. We don't have a secret key like pressing backspace or a number or something to return us. And we also don't have an actual physical button on the screen anywhere to click with our mouse. So we're just stuck here. To go back to the main menu, we actually need to proceed further into the game, go to the pause menu and quit, or win a match and then quit. And the same is with the stage selection screen. We don't have a way to go back to the character select screen. We're just stuck here. We have to select our stage and then we need to continue and go into the game to go back. That's one thing that we should do to clean this up and improve the flow. But additionally, we do want to have some more settings on our character select screen and stage selection screen as our series progresses. And right now our menus don't account for that. We only have the display of the stage or the characters. If you want to check out the entire Platform Fighter and Super Smash Brothers series before checking out this episode so you can get caught up, you can see how we've done things like our damage, our jumps, our different attacks, our items, our stage boundaries, and a whole lot more. I'll link you to the entire playlist of the Platform Fighter right here in the top right corner. Alternatively, if you don't care about that and you only care about the stage select screen and the character select screen, you don't have to follow along with the whole series to do this. I do recommend that you watch the other episodes of the character select and stage selection screen within this series, because if you follow that, then you'll be able to follow along perfectly with this and it will be a lot easier. I'll link the first episode of the character selection screen in the Platform Fighter right here in the top right corner. With that out of the way, we can go ahead and get started. This is a code and blueprint tutorial series. Since we're going to be working in our menus today, we're going to be working specifically in the widgets. We will exclusively be working in blueprints today. We'll go to blueprints, functional BPs, widgets, menus, character select screen, and also let's open up our stage select screen or level select screen, whatever you called it. So character select screen, stage select screen, we have them both open. Let's start in the character select screen. The first thing I want to be able to do is have a back button in here because again, I can't go back when I'm on my character select screen. Where you place it and how it looks is completely up to you. I'm just going to add a basic button like our continue button and handle all the back button logic on there. If we add a button to our canvas panel, get our button up here, and we can change the size of it. I'm going to be consistent with whatever my continue button was. So size was 206 by 46. Let's change this to 200 by 40. That way it's nice and easy. And we can set our new button, our back button, to 200x by 40y. Then let's call the button back button. And we can leave it as a variable because we are going to need to access this in the graph for style purposes and press and event purposes. You can put this wherever you want. In Super Smash Brothers and a lot of the character select and stage selection screens, they have a back arrow up in the top left corner. That's a pretty cool effect. We can do that as well, or we can move over our other elements on the widget to place this. But let's put it in the top left corner because it actually is the best available open space that is still on the left side of the screen. The continue button has a position of 1700 and 1012. Now this entire canvas panel is 1920 by 1080 by default. The alignment here is 0 on the X and 0 on the Y, which means the alignment point is the top left here. And if this is 1920 and this is 1700 units on the X, that is 220 units away from the right side. The size of this is 200, which means there are 20 units between the end of this canvas panel and the end of this button. If we want to mirror that exact behavior here, we want to place our position X on the back button 20 units right there. We can do the same for the height. So the position Y is 1012. Remember, this canvas panel is 1080 units on the Y axis. So subtracting those, you have 68 units. The size Y is 40 units, which means you have 28 units from the bottom of this canvas panel to the button. If we go to our back button and make the position Y 28 units, it will be in the exact same spot as the continue button, but in the top left corner. Now, additionally, these coins may be in the way. These coins are the widgets that we actually drop to determine what the player selected. We can simply hide them by clicking the eyeball in this view here, so they'll still be present in the game, but you won't be able to see them on the screen. If you'd like to be able to see them on the screen, you can just toggle them back here. Or additionally, you could move all of these. These are all set to have an offset left of 0. And so if we just change this to be 1100, for example, or let's try 1820, then we can move them to the right corner here. And we can just do this for all of these. And now we have our back button up here. I'll just leave this alone for now, but what we do need is text on it. So like the continue button, which I'm going to drag down here so that the continue button and back button are right next to each other, we want to add text to it. So we can drag off of the common text, add it to the back button here. We'll get this text element. We'll call this back button text. And for the content text here, we can call this part back or return. If you would prefer something a little bit longer, more uniform, to the continue. Now you want to change your font, potentially the size or the color. I'm going to change the outline settings and just add an outline of 2. I think this makes the text really pop. That way we have a black outline of 2 pixels and a white fill for that text. Now I'm also going to do this on the continue text just so that we're consistent. So I'm going to go to Appearance, Font, Outline Settings, Outline Size, and 2. But because of that, I had already set the color and opacity of the text to black. I'm going to undo that so that it's just white, and now we'll look good here. And apparently I put the outline size to 6. That's a complete mistake. Put that back to 2. Perfect, so we have our return button on our character select screen. The stage select screen does have the exact same continue button as the character select screen did. I will make the same modifications to this one. For the size, let's just set this to a flat 200. That's for the X. For the size Y, let's set this to 40. Now it's the same as the current character select button is. And we can also change the color and opacity on the continue button text to be white. Change the outline size to be 2. Then we can take our coins on our stage selection screen. We only have one right now, so yes, coin, and either hide it or move it. We can set our size here, be 100 by 100. That way that's also consistent with the character select screen. And then we can change our position here to be 1820 so that it appears in the top right corner instead of the top left. At this point, I am going to bring my continue button down to the bottom because I want to add my back button below this, just like we did on the character select screen. You can either copy the back button here and the back button text from the character select screen and paste it on the canvas panel for the stage selection screen, or you can go through the process of filling it out again. But if you want them to look the same, copying it is easier. Now for the back button, we do need to reposition it, and that means we can use the same values on the character selection screen. So position X of 20, position Y of 28. We do that here on the stage selection screen, position X 20, position Y 28. Now we have back buttons or return buttons on our character select screen and our stage selection screen. Now at this point, we need to actually give functionality to our character select screen's return button. The way we spawn this character select screen can alter how we should despawn it or remove this character selection screen. Let's go to the main menu screen. This is a widget that we have that spawns when we go to the main menu. Let's see what happens when we click on the battle button. So on press battle button, we create the character select screen widget and we add it to the viewport. You'll notice that we don't remove the main menu widget from the parent, which means it's still live in the background. The character select screen is just being rendered on top of it. We have a choice here. We can either choose to remove from parent the main menu screen so that it despawns when we go to the character select screen. When we're exiting the character select screen and returning to the main menu, we need to create widget, and we will create our main menu screen and add to viewport. But if our main menu screen never dies, we don't need to do that. We just need to remove the character select screen from the parent. If we click on our return button on our character select screen and go to the details panel and scroll down to the bottom, we'll get to a section that says events, and we want to add on pressed. This counts not only for things like mouse clicks, but also button inputs and keyboard inputs. We can press plus to add it. This will add the event to the graph, move it to where you want to place it, and on press back button, all we need to do is remove from parent character select screen. So remove from parent. Hook that up like that. We'll want to play a sound effect as well. And this can be a 2D sound because it's a menu sound, so everyone should hear it, so play sound 2D. And we didn't establish a sound for backing out, so we can call this whatever we want. We probably should use the back out sound just because it makes the most sense, but obviously use whatever sound effect you'd like. Now if we go to our main menu, go into our character select screen and hit return, we return back to our main menu. You should be able to hear the sound effect as well. Perfect, and there are no issues with that setup. So now what we need to do is make sure that we have the return button functioning on the stage selection screen. On the stage selection screen, it could be a little bit different. We need to determine how this stage selection screen was spawned and if it's different from the character selection screen. For this, we can go to where the continue button was pressed. So on pressed, continue button right here. You'll see that we create the stage select screen widget, we add it to the viewport. We were setting this widget to be hidden, but then playing a sound effect. We also weren't removing the character select screen from the parent, which means it still exists, it's just hidden in the background. I believe we set this to be hidden by default because back when we spawned the stage selection screen did not have a background. So anything that wasn't covered by this background, or these widget elements, would be visible and you could just see the character selection screen, which we didn't want. We do have a background now, so we don't need to keep the behavior for setting the character select screen to be hidden, but feel free to keep that if you want to. Just make sure to remember set your character select screen to be visible when returning from your stage selection screen. For me, I'm just going to remove set visibility on the on press continue button for the character selection screen, as we don't actually need it anymore. Now at this point, we can go to our stage selection screen, click on our return button here, scroll down in the details panel to our events, add on pressed, place it where we want to in the graph, then call remove from parent. When we're returning from the stage selection screen, we're removing it from the parent, which could be the viewport or whatever container it's in, getting rid of it. And then we're going to play our sound effect, the same sound effect that we did on the character select screen, which was called back out. Play sound 2D, back out, compile, and save. Now go through your menus here. You should see we can go to our character select screen. I can make choices. I can go to my stage select screen. And now if I return, my choices on the character selection screen are still here, but the stage selection screen is gone. This is exactly what I want. The only thing we have to do now is fix up our coins. Since we moved our coins over, we need to either change our logic for the coins or move them back. I'm just going to move them back. So CS coin for every player, set their offset left to be 0 again. And if you don't want them in the way of your return button, just hide them with the eyeball. I'm going to keep them enabled, but keep that in mind. Stage select screen is the same thing. Go to your CS coin, set the position X to be 0, and hide it with the eyeball if you want to. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode on cleaning up and improving your character select screen and stage select screen in the Super Smash Brothers and Platform Fighter tutorial series. Being able to back out of those menus is incredibly important, and it makes it a lot easier to go through these episodes as well, because there's a lot of times I do want to go back and I have to close out of the whole game to do so. If you guys enjoyed this episode and it helped you with your character select and stage select screen, then please subscribe. It does more for myself and the channel than anything else you can do, and it's completely free. I also want to give a huge shout out to everyone who's supported me on Patreon, YouTube membership, and Discord subscriptions. Thank you for showing your support to the channel. It's incredibly appreciated, and you guys are amazing, so thank you so much. If you guys ran into any problems following this tutorial or any of my tutorials, feel free to join the Discord community. There is a link in the description. I would be happy to help you out. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Shawnthebro, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye, guys.